So, what if you could actually flip that switch to regrow those cells and burn off fat practically overnight? Let's talk about a 67-year-old patient who did exactly this. He had this incredibly stubborn belly fat that just wouldn't budge for 6 years. He was constantly exhausted, and his healing was so slow that a simple cut on his hand took 3 weeks to close. Basically, his body was hoarding fat and had just completely stopped regenerating. His stem cell activity tested near the absolute bottom for his age bracket. But then he was given 6 really simple steps to do in a single day. And I mean a single day, not a month. Look at how crazy fast this progression is. Just 24 hours after he started the protocol, his blood work showed measurable stem cell mobilization. By day 5, that cut on his hand that usually took weeks to close completely healed up. And by the 2-week mark, that clingy, stubborn belly fat finally started melting away. We're talking about one underlying mechanism driving 2 completely incredible results. Now, you might be wondering, if this is so effective, why is nobody talking about it? Well, the answer is $58 billion. The regenerative medicine industry rakes in that massive chunk of change every single year for separate, incredibly expensive stem cell injections and fat loss drugs. They treat them as 2 totally different problems, which means 2 massive bills for you. Contrast that enormous industry with the 6 entirely free, everyday actions we're about to explore. These actions flip that single internal switch, controlling both regeneration and fat burning. All right, let's get right into it and count down these 6 methods, starting off with 3 powerful nutritional additions: spices, seeds, and sprouts. Coming in at method number 6, we've got turmeric combined with black pepper. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hearing that turmeric is good for inflammation is totally old news, right? But here's what researchers just discovered. Curcumin, which is the active compound in turmeric, was clinically proven to increase your stem cell proliferation by 39% in just 72 hours. And at the exact same time, it actively inhibited adipogenesis. That's just the fancy scientific term for the creation of new fat cells. So it boosts the repair cells you desperately want while actively blocking the fat cells you definitely don't. But there's a massive catch, and it all comes down to this staggering statistic: 2,000%. You see, turmeric by itself has terrible bioavailability. If you take it alone, your body absorbs almost none of it. Without piperin, that's the compound found in black pepper, you are quite literally wasting your turmeric. But put them together, and absorption skyrockets by 2,000%. The trick is to combine a teaspoon of high-quality turmeric with a pinch of black pepper and some kind of healthy fat, like olive oil, because curcumin absolutely needs fat to cross over into your bloodstream. Moving right along to number 5, we have black seed oil. This is one of those ancient remedies that modern science is finally catching up to. It's extracted from a plant called Nigella sativa, and it contains a bioactive compound that is turning out to be one of the most potent natural stem cell activators we have ever studied. It boosts your hematopoietic stem cells, which are the ones responsible for creating all your blood and immune cells, by an unbelievable 45%. And the reason this oil is also a fat-burning powerhouse comes down to a compound called thymoquinone. This active compound directly activates your AMPK. You can think of AMPK as your body's master metabolic switch. When you activate it through this unique little chemical door, your cells shift completely away from storing fat and pivot straight into burning it. It's the exact same biological pathway that gets activated by hardcore exercise and fasting, but you're triggering it with just a tiny dose of oil. Now, to actually get these results, you need to follow a specific protocol. You want to take half to 1 full teaspoon of cold-pressed organic black seed oil. Make sure it's stored in dark glass, because heat and light will completely destroy those active compounds. You've got to take it first thing in the morning, totally fasted, for maximum absorption. The only downside? It's pretty bitter. But if you chase it with a bit of raw honey, you actually create this massive 67% greater anti-inflammatory synergy than if you took either of them alone. For method number 4, we're turning to raw broccoli sprouts. And to be perfectly clear, we aren't talking about standard broccoli crowns here. These tiny 3 to 5 day old baby plants are literally the planet's most concentrated source of a compound called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is an absolute master activator for your body's cellular defense system. It flips on a pathway called NRF2, which goes to work directly protecting your stem cells from damage and significantly improving your insulin sensitivity. But here is the massive catch: heat. Raw sprouts give you that beautiful active sulforaphane, but cooking your broccoli destroys the essential myrosinase enzyme needed to actually produce it. Boiling or even steaming it for just 2 minutes basically wipes it out completely. You absolutely have to eat these sprouts raw to get the benefits, which, by the way, include a clinically proven 13% reduction in stubborn visceral fat. Just chew up about a cup a day thoroughly, and you're essentially creating the medicine right there in your mouth. Okay, we're shifting gears from diet over to lifestyle with method number 3. This habit triggered the absolute strongest stem cell mobilization in a controlled trial, and guess what? It cost absolutely nothing. We're talking about the power of cold water exposure. Check out this massive number. When you expose your body to cold water, your nervous system releases a 530% surge of norepinephrine. And no, this isn't just a quick energy boost like a cup of coffee. This is a powerful hormone and neurotransmitter that directly stimulates intense fat burning while rapidly releasing stem cells. Just a single session in the cold triggers a 5-fold increase in this crucial chemical. And that norepinephrine surge does something totally wild. It significantly builds up your brown adipose tissue, or BAT for short. And like white fat, the kind that creates that stubborn belly, brown fat actually actively burns calories to generate heat. Building up your brown fat volume can increase your resting metabolic rate so much that you burn up to 300 extra calories a day while doing literally nothing. You are building a furnace right inside your body. And as for regeneration, the cold-induced norepinephrine directly stimulates the stem cells hiding in your bone marrow to multiply and release straight into your bloodstream. It's exactly like sending out a fleet of elite repair crews to every single organ that needs maintenance. They travel like a homing beacon to damaged tissues all throughout your body to start their vital, life-changing repair work. Now, I know some of you are probably dreading the idea of a freezing ice bath right now. Actually, scratch that. You don't even need one. Here is the minimal effective dose. First, just take your regular warm shower, but end it with cold water. Second, stand under it for just 30 seconds. That's it. That's day 1. Over time, you just want to build up to a total of 11 minutes per week spread across a few showers. No miserable plunge pulls required, just a quick, sharp burst at the end of your daily routine. Let's move to method number 2, time-restricted fasting. This accelerates your cellular regeneration simply by tweaking the hours you're allowed to eat. A truly groundbreaking study out of MIT found that fasting forces your cells to make a switch. They stop burning glucose and start burning fatty acids. And that elegant little metabolic switch, it actually doubled the regenerative capacity of intestinal stem cells. The absolute key here is the timeline. Let's say you finish dinner and stop eating at 8 p.m. You've got to hit that 16-hour fasting mark, breaking your fast at 12 p.m. the next day. Why 16 hours exactly? Because the research shows that if you do anything less than that, your body hasn't fully shifted into fat-burning mode yet, and you haven't triggered autophagy. Autophagy is that vital cellular recycling process where your body literally acts like a vacuum cleaner, clearing out all its damaged, junky components. And what's super fascinating here is the specific type of fat you end up losing. Clinical trials show that fasting disproportionately targets and burns away the most dangerous fat in your body. Visceral fat. That's the stubborn, dangerous belly fat wrapped tightly around your organs. Drops by a massive 14%. Meanwhile, the subcutaneous fat, the softer stuff just under your skin, only drops by 6%. It is an incredibly targeted, smart approach by your body. And here we are. We finally reach method number 1. It is easily the most unexpected yet insanely powerful daily habit on this entire list. It totally stunned the researchers and almost nobody is talking about it yet. It's the ultimate stem cell hack, cooled resistant starch. To really get why this works, we have to talk about butyrate. Resistant starch literally resists being digested in your small intestine, right? So it travels totally intact down to your gut, where your beneficial bacteria feast on it and produce butyrate. This short-chain fatty acid is recognized as the ultimate natural stem cell regenerator. Researchers at Stanford found it increased intestinal stem cell regeneration by 68% in just 48 hours. It even crosses the blood-brain barrier to help grow neural stem cells. And getting your hands on this resistant starch is ridiculously simple. All you have to do is cool your regular cooked white potatoes or rice in the fridge for 12 hours. Doing this physically rearranges their molecular structure. A hot potato has about 3 grams of resistant starch, but that exact same potato, once you cool it down, has 12 grams. You are literally quadrupling its regenerative power just by putting it in the fridge. Your digestive enzymes can't break it down anymore, so it turns into pure, unadulterated fuel for your gut bacteria. Just look at the metabolic data here. It's absolutely staggering. In clinical trials, consuming just 30 grams of resistant starch daily led to 22% more fat burned actively while people were sleeping.
fasting insulin dropped by a massive 33%, and blood sugar spikes dropped by 28%. By combining this cooled starch with your very first meal at noon, right when you break that 16-hour fast, you completely maximize your fat-burning potential while dramatically lowering your insulin.
Look, at the end of the day, consistency is everything. But as we've just seen, these life-changing tools cost absolute pennies, or literally nothing at all. You don't need a fancy lab or a massive budget to do this. You just need to take action. So, out of the 6 simple switches we've explored today, which